Good afternoon. Woke a couple of you up, didn't I? We're going to get started with the sale. I see a few familiar faces in the room, but I'm going to guess that most of you have never been to one of these before. You're a little terrified that you're about ready to do something really stupid. I'll bet one of you does. We're going to try to prevent that. We're going to go through the rules and regulations before the sale. We're going to let you know what you're getting yourself into, give you a few tips and hints if you are new at this. You have to have a valid photo ID in order to bid today. You have to be registered prior to the sale. If you want to bid on something, you have to have one of those red bid cards. You might see somebody later on bidding with a blue one if they come in after we've given the rules and regulations. If somebody has a blue bid card, we might ask them to verify a couple things just to make sure that they're on the same page that the rest of us are. When you're bidding today, you're accepting the rules of the sale. They're all listed in the book that everybody's got a copy of on the pages that says rules and regulations. Obviously, it's the smallest print in the book. That's how rules and regulations work. Take a look at those while you're waiting for your parcel to come up. We're going to go over most of those rules now, but just kind of get yourself in tune with them if there's something specific that you have a question about. These properties have been through a judicial foreclosure process. There is a court order filed with the Circuit Court for St. Clair County that vests the title in these properties in the county treasurer, and that's what you're buying today. There has been a multiple-year, multiple-office effort to notify everybody that had anything to do with these properties that there were taxes due. They had until March 31st to pay. If they didn't pay, they lost their interest in the property. They can't pay the taxes and get it back. It's not that simple. They would have to go to court and actually overturn the whole process. Very difficult to do at this point. We've gone and seen the judge. We asked the judge to give us a court order that voids everything on that list, and they have done so. Deeds, land contract ownership interests are gone. All of the mortgages, construction liens, tax liens, condo and property owner association fees, old utility bills, any kind of a judgment against this property. The people that held them have been sent notice. They didn't respond. They didn't pay. They've lost those interests. It's ordered by the court. Some things are not canceled by tax foreclosure, and here's that list. Easements. If there's an easement across the property or across another property to get to this property today, the easements are still in place. If the mineral rights on the property have been retained by a former owner, if they've been sold to a third party, they're still split, but if the former owner had the mineral rights, you do get them today. If they're subject to things like deed restrictions, condominium covenants, zoning ordinances, building codes, things like that, those things all still apply. I don't think we've got any cropland today. There's special rules for that. If we get into that, we'll mention them. Make sure that you know what you're bidding on today. Everything is sold as is, where is, with all of its faults, all of its defects, whether we know about them or not, whether you know about them or not. You're buying everything exactly the way that it sits right now today, even if it's on fire right now. We've had that happen. There are no guarantees, warranties, or representations made of any kind except that you are buying the piece of property listed in the book that you've got a copy of. If you look at it, it's going to describe the property either by a subdivision name and a lot number, a measured description, a condominium name, and a unit number or something of that effect. That's what you're buying today. You are not buying an address, you're not buying a photograph, you're not buying what your brother-in-law told you was there. You're buying the property as legally described in the book. These properties can have lots of problems. We are required to tell you that if you buy something built before the middle 1970s, you all remember this drill, you're that age, it could have lead-based paint. Please don't pick and eat the paint. It can have asbestos, infestation, frozen plumbings, bad foundations, leaking roofs, water lines that are all plugged up full of rust, septic and sewer systems that don't work, encroachments, property line boundary disputes, underground storage tank, contamination, and a lot of other things. No extra charge. Everything is being sold today as is, where is. That piece of property right there on your screen is located in Ontonagon County, just north of Bruce Crossing if you've ever been in that neighborhood. That piece of property, I've been selling this stuff for 17 years. That's the only piece of property I have ever seen that had every problem on that list. And we've sold it 3 times. Somebody isn't paying attention. They buy it, they think they're getting a great deal on a piece of property, a little vacation place in the UP. They buy it, then they go look at it, then we get it back because they can't even get to it. There's not even legal access to get to that piece of property. Well, guess what? We've sold that thing 3 times in the last 17 years. We were up there in Ontonagon County last week and we tried to sell it the 4th time. It's on the list again. You can buy it maybe later on. We'll sell it to you if anybody's interested. Please make sure you know what you're bidding on today. There are no refunds. Once you buy it, you pay for it, it's yours. You can't bring it back. The way that we sell property today is pretty simple. In your book, you're going to see a minimum bid. That is an amount that specific piece of property owes the county. That's back taxes. That's the cost of mowing the lawns. That's whatever has been rolled into what that piece of property owes the county since it became delinquent. We cannot sell anything today for less than that amount of money. We're going to open each parcel for bidding at that amount or a higher one if I have a bid already online. Bidding on these properties has been available on the website until 11 o'clock this morning. Then it was closed. I have a copy of those bids in front of me already. If the bid in that book, if the minimum bid in that book says $2,000 and I've already got an $80,000 bid online, we're going to start at $80,000 because we're going to get there anyway. So we're going to open up at either the minimum bid listed in that book or a higher bid online if I already have one, and then we're going to come into the room and sell. There are 6 pieces in that book today that a lot of people in this room are here for. I think each one of those 6 pieces looks like has at least a dozen bidders in the room. Rather than making you guys sit here, especially if you're on the last page or something, we're going to sell those 6 pieces first. Most of you are going to be out of here pretty quickly. Once we've sold those 6 pieces, we're going to come back to the beginning of the book and sell them in order, skipping the pieces nobody wants. We have stuff in this book that there are no circles around. Nobody told the clerk they wanted it. I have no online bids for it. We'll ask if anybody's here to bid on it. If you're not, we're not going to bother opening up those pieces because it just takes a lot of extra time. So that's how it's done. Once we open a piece of property up for bidding, either at the minimum bid or a higher one, if I have a higher bid online, we increase the bidding by the amounts you see listed on the screen. Until we get to $1,000, we go up at least $50 at a time in round numbers. $350, $400, $450, $500. Not 501, not 517 and 39 cents, because those are your lucky numbers. Round numbers as they're listed on the screen. Over $10,000, we go to $250 at a time. 10 a quarter, 10 and a half, 10, 750, 11,000, just like that. You guys can do, the people bidding online can only bid in those increments. They can only go up 1 bid increment at a time. They've got a button in front of them. It just says next increment, and that's all they can do. You guys in the room can do something called jumping the bid, and you might see this today, especially on those first 6 pieces that are pretty popular. It's pretty simple. We've got something that the minimum bid on it is a couple $1,000s. We open it up at a couple $1,000, and this guy wants to give me $2,100, and that guy wants to give me $2,200, and back over here it's $2,300, and you're sitting in the back of the room and you say, I want that piece really bad. So you stand up and say $82,000. You have my immediate, undivided attention. That's called jumping the bid. Feel free to do it. You guys can do it. The people online cannot. If we have a piece that I know I've got a high bid for already online, I have a lot of interest in the room, I might ask if you want to jump the bid. It's up to you if you want to do it that way or the slow, painful way and go 1 bid increment at a time, even though I already know where we're going. We've had pieces of property this year that our increment has become $5,000. It's gone from a couple $1,000s to $100,000 in less than a minute. There might be pieces here today that do that. We don't know until we get there. This is important stuff right here. If you've never been to one of these sales before, you kind of found out about it, you showed up, you took a quick look at the rules, but you didn't read them in detail. Some of you I might not be able to sell anything to today. Here's the law. It's the law in the state of Michigan in every county, and they can't waver from it. If you have any other property in St. Clair County that has your fingerprints on it in any way, and the taxes are delinquent, you can't buy here today. And if you do, your sale's going to be canceled, and there's a criminal penalty for trying. It also applies if you have unpaid civil fines. If you're in violation of any local ordinance, not mowing the grass, you got too many junk cars, they have sent you bills for doing things because you wouldn't do them, and you haven't paid them, you can't bid either. We'll talk in a minute about the criminal penalty for trying to buy property today. But basically, here is how big that net is. You can't bid on, pay for, or be listed on the deed for anything today if you have property with delinquent taxes in St. Clair County. The easiest way to determine whether a tax is delinquent or not is to look on the tax bill and see who you're getting it from. If you're getting a tax bill from a city, a village, or a township, that's not delinquent yet. If you're getting any tax bills from the county treasurer, you have delinquent taxes, and we can't take your bid today. You can't have somebody bid for you. You can't send your brother-in-law into the sale because you're delinquent and you want him to bid for you. You can't send somebody to the sale to bid for you and then send them with your check to pay for it. You can't send them even with their check and have them list you on the deed. If you have delinquent taxes, you can't have anything to do with this sale at all today. And it includes not just the obvious things. There are a couple of things that are not so obvious that are included here as well. If you have business entities, partnerships, DBAs, LLCs, corporations, anything like that, and if they have any interest in property in this county with delinquent taxes, you can't buy. If you're hiding all your rental property in some corporate name and you got 42 tax delinquencies under some other name, but you are a shareholder in that, you can't bid today. If you co-own property with other people, even if you are not personally responsible for the taxes, if you have sold property to somebody else on a land contract, you hold the deed. They're the land contract buyer. The land contract says they're supposed to pay the taxes. If they are delinquent, you can't bid today. It's the law. It's not our rule. It's the Michigan legislature's. We have several kinds of bidding methods today. We have you guys here in the room to bid. We have people that have bid online prior to the sale. Those bids closed at 11 o'clock. I've got a list of those right in front of me. I know how high they'll go. On top of that projector right there is a camera. It's got a microphone built into it. They can see and hear this sale on the internet all over the world right now. They've given us a $1,000 credit card pre-authorization. We have verified their identities. There's no fake bidders in the bunch. We know who they are. They've given us surety. They can bid against you as well. I want to remind the online bidders, do not use the audio and video feed to bid. Please use the text on your screen. It'll give you a more direct frame of reference for what's going on in the room. Do we have some issue? There's some fine print in the book you're going to want to take a look at. If any of what I've just said is foggy to you, it's all there in black and white for you to take a look at. We're skipping some of the rules that are a little bit more obvious. You're entering into a legally binding contract today. We don't reopen the bidding. We reserve the right to reject the bid of any person that appears to be acting on behalf of somebody that is not qualified to bid. Any bid not received at the time the hammer comes down is deemed as not valid. If you bid today and you're bidding here in the room, you have to pay in full today before you leave, or within a very short time after the sale ends if you do have to leave the building. If you can't pay in full today, you should not be bidding. If you're bidding online, you're going to receive instructions within 24 hours by email. If you don't see them, please check your spam filter, and if it's not even there, then call the office and they'll give it to you over the phone. First $1,000 you give us today should be paid in the form of a cashier's check. It's a non-refundable deposit. Over and above that first $1,000, we will take your personal or business check, money orders, cashier's checks, or credit cards. We accept Visa, MasterCard, and Discover only. We do not take American Express. We don't take the Diners Club. If you write us a check just like that one for $152,250 and it bounces, your first $1,000 is gone. It's a non-refundable deposit. It's off to the St. Clair County Treasurer's Christmas Party Fund, and you don't get anything for it. It's a non-refundable deposit. We don't take cash anymore. We used to, too many problems. We even got some funny money in a couple of places that can convince us to quit doing that. What are you going to pay? If you win something today, exactly how does the math work? Here it is right on the screen. This way you can computate how high you can go based on what you got in your pocket. There's going to be a final bid price that we arrive at here in the room. There are 3 additions to that. There's a 10% buyer premium. That's the cost of conducting the auction, the marketing, paying for the chair you're sitting in right now. There's a $30 charge for recording your deed. Before you get the deed to the property, it's going to be taken to the Register of Deeds office for St. Clair County. They're going to make an image of it. They're going to send it back to you in the mail. That's a $30 charge regardless of how many pages it is. You're going to be paying that $30 in addition to the bid price and the 10%. And there is a summer tax bill for each one of these properties that's already been issued. And the legislature says before you can have the deed, you have to pay the taxes. At the end of every description, you're going to see summer tax due. That's being collected today as well. So at your checkout today, you're going to pay the final bid price plus 10%, plus $30, plus the summer tax bill. That's going to be your total at checkout today. There's no sales tax. There is no transfer tax on property purchased from the government. If you're using a credit card for all or part of your purchase today, after that first $1,000, there's a 2.75% fee that the credit card company charges. We pass that right on along to you. If you need to leave the building before you make your payment, if you came maybe with part of what you need but not all of it, sometimes people want to go to their bank and get the entire amount in a certified funds check. If you want to do that, let the clerks where you checked in know what your bidder number is, give them your cell phone number, tell them how long it's going to take for you to come back. They'll be able to give you to the penny the exact amount that you need in order to pay today. If you've not already done it on the website, there's a form in your book. It looks like this. It says deed information. It's the names and addresses of the people you want listed on the deed to the property. Make sure that if you list somebody on that deed information sheet that is not here today, you might want to call them on the phone before you put their name down and say, do you have any delinquent taxes? Because if you do, I don't want to get our sale nuked. Don't put anybody on there that's got delinquent taxes. Please use full legal names. If your mama named you Robert, don't put down Bubba just because everybody calls you Bubba. Put down your full legal name, the way it appears on your driver's license, the address where you would like to get the tax bills for that property at in the future. If you're buying property today with somebody else, you're not married to them, a relative, a business partner, somebody of that nature, you have to tell us what happens to one of the owner's shares in that property if they die. What happens to the ownership of the property if one of the co-owners is deceased? The options for that are also listed in your book. You'll see at the top of the page it says tenancy. So if you're buying something today and there's going to be more than one person listed on the deed and they're not married, you need to pick one of those options out. It's all explained in the book. They'll ask you at checkout. So it's best if you have that decision made before you get to the table. When you leave today, you're not going to be leaving with a copy of the deed. The deed has not been prepared yet. It's not like a car title. We don't sign it over and give it to you today. We have to create it, but first we have to wait for everybody's checks to clear. We have to get all the financial part of it done. We create all the deeds at the same time. We send them to the treasurer's office. They execute them. They take them to the Register of Deeds office, record them with your check for $30, and then it gets mailed back to you. That's a process that's going to take 5 or 6 weeks, give or take, about that amount of time. You're going to want to leave here today, though, with something that says, I bought that piece of property. So what you're going to get today is a receipt. The receipt is your contract of purchase. Before you execute and leave here today with that receipt, they're going to ask you to verify several things on it. They're going to ask you to initial it in a few places and then sign it at the bottom. Here's what's on the receipt. Here's what's on your agreement today. First of all, they're going to give you a copy of it and ask you to verify that everything on it is correct. Check the spelling of your name carefully, the middle initial. If you've got one of those names people spell strange or oftentimes get incorrect, double check it. If you have somebody with you that knows that information, have them verify it as well. Check the addresses. Check the 4-digit number, make sure it's the right one. If the information on the receipt is incorrect, you may get a deed to the wrong property. You might get a deed to the right property with your name spelled wrong. The information on that receipt is the same data used to create the deed. Make sure everything on there is correct, including the math. You're going to be initialing in another spot saying that you're agreeing to the terms of the sale, the things we're talking about right now. You're agreeing that you have the opportunity to inspect the property, even if you didn't do that at all. You're agreeing that you did have the opportunity. You're agreeing that you are buying the property as is in every respect, and that there's no refund, no right to cancel the sale. You can't bring it back. Here's another one. As part of your agreement today, technically, the law says the treasurer has the right and authority to cancel this sale if we discover right afterward that we did not have the authority to sell the property. Once in a great while, we sell thousands of pieces a year across the state of Michigan. We sell for 70 counties. Maybe once a year, maybe once every other year, out of all of those thousands of pieces, we have to cancel a sale because we discovered that somebody a year ago was protected by a bankruptcy court before the foreclosure was final and we didn't know about it. Somebody was in a nursing home and had a guardian appointed and the guardian was never made aware of things. If we discovered that we did not have the authority to foreclose, we didn't have the authority to sell, your sale gets canceled and what you get refunded is what you paid today and not a penny more. So, between now and the time that the deed shows up in your mailbox, you are not yet the owner of the property. You're the buyer. The deal is not complete until that deed is in your hands in the mailbox. Like I said, that's going to be about 5 weeks. We should tell you that you can't set foot on the property. That if the building is empty and the door is wide open, that you can't walk through it until you have the deed. We should tell you that. We could tell you that. And we could make you sign on that receipt today in 14 different places and take a blood oath that says that you won't, and you're going to be in there by 5 o'clock today anyway. Because that's how this works. You're buying it today, you're paying for it today. As far as you're concerned, when you leave here today, you're in charge out there, right? So we accept that. We know how that thinking works. So there's a part of your agreement today, your contract, your receipt that says this. We are giving you possession before you become the owner, before you have the deed. But your authority there is limited. We're giving you possession for purposes of supervision, maintenance, and inspection only. You do not have the right to move in. You don't have the right to start remodeling, to start ripping things apart. You have the right only to enter the property as long as it's not occupied by a third party. If it's a vacant building, go ahead and let yourself in, change the locks, do some maintenance, look around, start planning and measuring and figuring out what you got to repair and what materials you need, but don't start making any big changes. If your sale has to get canceled, what you get back is what you paid today, and that's all you get back. If you disregard what I'm telling you and you go put a brand new roof on it, you don't get that money back. You just bought somebody else a brand new roof. As part of that transaction, you're indemnifying the seller today. We're giving you possession prior to the actual delivery of the deed for those specific purposes, and in exchange, you're releasing the county from any liability for injury, loss, or damage. If you fall through the floor, you break your leg, it's on you. Don't call us about it. So that's part of your transaction, part of the agreement, the receipt, your contract today when you check out. The final part of your checkout process today is required by the law. We told you earlier that if you have delinquent taxes, that you can't bid, buy, or be listed on the deed today. You can't pay for it. You can't have your fingerprints anywhere on this process. As the final part of the checkout procedure today, they are going to ask you to make a sworn statement that that's true. They're going to ask you whether you have any attachment, any relationship, any association with any piece of delinquent tax property in St. Clair County. When you say, no, I don't, you're doing it in front of a notary public. They're a witness assigned by the state. You're going to be making a sworn statement. If you misrepresent your delinquent tax status in front of a sworn agent of the state, I forgot about the 12 pieces of property I got with delinquent taxes, doesn't work. You've just done something called perjury. Perjury in Michigan, it's just like lying to the judge if you tell him you don't have delinquent taxes and you know that you do. Perjury in Michigan is a felony. It's not a misdemeanor. If you tell us you don't have delinquent taxes and you are determined that you do, or that you are bidding for somebody that does, your sale gets canceled, your file gets closed, and it gets sent upstairs to the prosecuting attorney's office for a felony processing. Don't do it. Bad idea. Legislature says if you have delinquent taxes, don't bid today. Please take that seriously. After the sale, you don't have to give this to us today, but you do have to send it in. It's the last page in your book. This is going to the assessor's office in the city, village, or township where the property you buy is located. It's how they know that it's been sold. It's how they know to send you a tax bill at a different address so that we're not selling your property in 2 years. You've got a couple of years to send, or not a couple of years, you've got 45 days to send this in. At the top, you're going to give them your name and address. This is where they're going to send the tax bill in the future. You're going to identify the property you bought in telling them that you bought it from the St. Clair County Treasurer. You're going to tell them how much you paid, that it was a cash transaction, you didn't buy it on a land contract. You have 45 days to send it in. If you don't, they can fine you up to $200. There are a whole bunch of little boxes on the bottom half of that. None of them apply, so don't check any of them. Even if there's one that says tax sale. You're not redeeming from a tax sale, you're buying at one. Don't check that box. None of the ones on the bottom apply. Skip right over them, sign it at the bottom, and send it in within 45 days. Title insurance, we're not going to dwell on it too much. It's not required that you have title insurance to buy or to sell a piece of property unless you're going to be dealing with a bank. If there's going to be a bank involved at some time, you're going to need title insurance before that transaction occurs. Some title insurance agencies will not write policies on this stuff at all. Other ones will give you a great big laundry list of things they want you to do, a quiet title action, or go get a deed from the last owner or something. Other agencies are a whole lot easier to deal with. There are a number of them, some listed on that screen. The clerks at checkout have the brochures of a couple of these companies that they can give you for more information on getting title insurance if you want it or if you need it. If you're buying something that you're going to hold for your own personal use, or you're going to have it a while before you resell it, you're going to discover that the longer you own the piece of property, the easier it is to get the insurance, and you might just want to wait until you need it. But don't wait too long. Don't wait till a week before closing to go get title insurance, or you'll find that you have a delay. This date is important to you. If you're brand new at this is all kind of foreign to you. We mentioned at the beginning that everybody that had an interest in these properties had until March 31st to pay the taxes, or they're gone. April the 1st is the day that the treasurer became the owner of this property by virtue of a court order wiping all of the other interest in the property away. April the 1st is the effective date of your purchase today. If you buy something today, yeah, we know it's the end of August. Everything before March 31st has been voided by an order of the court. You assume liability for everything that came after that date. Anything that we are aware of is already part of today's minimum bid. If there was some grass mowing that had to be done and the city wanted to get paid for that, or the treasurer contracted with somebody to keep the grass mowed, that bill is already part of that minimum bid today. You might run into a few other things. If the property is in a condominium, if it's in a homeowners association, you might incur liability for membership fees after April the 1st. Everything prior to that has been voided by an order of the court. Everything after that is either already in the minimum bid, or if it's a very specific exception, your liability will start. They'll generally be low expense things. They'll start as of April the 1st and not a day before that. If you're buying something today, and we've got a lot of houses today that are connected to city water and sewer, this has been kind of an ongoing debate, and it depends on who you call about how cooperative they are. Sometimes you call the city water department and they seem to think that they are immune from tax foreclosure. The last owner of the property might have had an old water bill or an old sewer bill or maybe a garbage bill or something that went back months or maybe even years. And they might throw out at you that they're not going to turn that water back on unless you pay that guy's water bill. It might be a couple $1,000s if the pipe's froze and it broke and it ran for months at a time. The Attorney General's office says that is not your responsibility. Municipal utility liens are canceled just like everything else on that date right there. If you buy a piece of property and it's connected to city water or city sewer, Any old bill is not your responsibility, even if their policy says that it is. And if they want to argue with you about it, those 4 digits at the top right hand of your screen are going to be the best argument you can ever come up with. If you're buying something and it's on city water or city sewer here in the city, one of the villages, you're going to want to write that down. That's a Michigan Attorney General opinion number. It's opinion number 7258, and what it says is that a municipality cannot require the purchaser of tax foreclosed property at an auction like this to pay somebody else's old bill. They can't make you pay the old bill, and they cannot refuse to turn the service on if you won't. Their lien is gone, just like every other lien. If you're buying something and it's connected to city water and sewer, just scribble down 7258 somewhere in your paperwork. That saves you having to try to find us on the road somewhere and ask us what those digits were later on. That's important stuff. Most of them by now are aware that they can't. Doesn't mean they won't try to convince you that you do owe somebody else's old bill to get you to pay for it. Possession, we talked about possession. We're giving it to you today. We're giving you possession today prior to the delivery of the deed, but you are not yet the owner of the property. Don't spend a bunch of money on it until that deed shows up in your mailbox. But sometimes property that we sell, and we've got a few of them in that book today, are occupied. You go buy something after the sale, and by golly, yeah, there's still somebody there. There's a car in the driveway, and lights are on, and people are moving about, and you don't know for sure who is at that property. You just go charging up to the door and scream at them and see what happens? No, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to just walk up to that door blindly at all. You never know what you're getting into. Many of the occupied properties are going to contain renters or people that are friends or relatives of the former owner, or a former owner that is aware of what's going on and is just kind of waiting out and staying as long as they can before they hear from somebody. They generally know this is going on. You guys have been out there peeking in the windows for the last 6 weeks. It should be pretty obvious to most normal people that the property's being sold here today. We may have people here in the room that are the occupants of these properties here to either see what's going on or maybe to try to buy it back. There's no telling. But don't just walk up to the door of an occupied property and make your presence known and start bullying around, because you might end up on the wrong end of a bad situation. Here's my advice to you. If you're buying something today and there is somebody in it, go talk to the neighbors. Somebody in that neighborhood is going to know who's there, what their name is, maybe a phone number, where they work, what the situation is, and very importantly, whether they're stable, whether you can approach them and they're rational, or whether you're going to go up to that door and they might start shooting at you. Please be careful with these situations of occupied properties. If you can at all make contact by some other means before walking up to a door, whether it's by telephone, whether it's through an intermediary like a friend or a relative of who's there, we highly recommend that you don't just blindly walk up to a door and make that contact. Every neighborhood has somebody in it who makes it their job to know everybody else's business. Find that person, get that information. If you don't think that every neighborhood has that kind of a person in it, if you don't think that there's a nosy Nancy in the neighborhood where you live, I'll bet it's you. What we're selling today, I think this house is up in Marysville. What you are buying today is a piece of land. That's what we're selling you. That's what we foreclosed on. There are some incidentals that go along with that piece of land. Structures, swimming pools, utility lines, shrubbery, garages, driveways, septic tanks. That's what you're buying today. You're buying a piece of land and generally what is attached to it. If it's got a water heater or a water softener inside that's leased from Culligan, we can't sell you that because we don't own it. We're selling you the piece of land and whatever is attached to it that was owned by the person that lost the property. If anything else is on that property, we don't own it. We are not selling it to you today. We can't even give it to you today. There are examples. There are a lot of examples. This house is an example. Big house. You would think there's lots of room there. Guy that owned that place got a call from his mother-in-law. She said, I'm going to come visit for 8 or 10 years. And he said, well, I don't think we have enough room. Mom, I'm sorry, but I think we're all full. And she says, that's just fine. I'll bring my own. So she added on to the back. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but that's a 1973 Ford Econoline van. She put siding over the wheels, covered the front window so that she could sleep in on Sunday morning after bingo on Saturday night. And she can hop in the front seat of that and put the key in it, start it up, and hit the gas and be out of there in about 4 seconds. You'll also notice, if you look very closely, it's got a license plate on it. That guest room right there is called personal property. Even though it's attached to that building, it's owned by somebody other than the person that owned the land. It's got a separate title. We don't own it. We can't sell it to you today. We cannot sell you anything inside or outside of these properties that is not attached to it, that has a separate title, that's owned by somebody else. We cannot sell you inventory, appliances, automobiles, RVs, boats, campers, contents, leased items, anything of that nature. If you find anything on or in the property that can be removed without the use of tools, anything that has a separate title, anything that you can be considered personal property, it is not included in the sale. If you find something of significant value, contact the neighbor, say who lived here last, who left their brand new Harley Davidson in the garage and left it here, track them down, give them an opportunity to come and get it. That includes mobile, modular, and manufactured homes. We have had modular homes on concrete block foundations removed with permission of the court from sales before. If whoever owned that piece of land did not own that modular home, if Green Tree Financing held the lien on the modular home but did not have a mortgage on the land and they foreclosed on it, there's not a judge around that won't let them come and get it. Any kind of a housing unit that has ever had wheels under it, anything that's ever had a separate title to, is probably going to be abandoned and be left there, but please keep in mind, we do not warrant the title to those kinds of units. If somebody comes to claim it, make them show you an order of the court, not just the title or some other 90-year-old piece of paperwork. Make them prove to you they have the authority to remove it. But keep in mind, we don't warrant the title. Sometimes these things are challenged and they disappear. We're just about ready to get started with the bidding here. When we bid, it's just like riding a teeter-totter. We're not going to have 15 people bid at the same time, except maybe on a couple pieces right here at the beginning. Once we're into a piece of property that only has maybe 3 or 4 people in the room bidding on it, we're going to have 2 at a time. Just like riding that teeter-totter right there. Same thing online. Sometimes somebody online will put on a bid. They'll put on a bid of like $400. And we'll sell it to somebody in the room for $400. And they'll say, well, I bid first. My $400 bid was first. That's not how it works. You are bidding every other time. $250, $300, $350, $400. Even if this guy bid $400 online in advance, he only bid $300 because he was around. That's when his side of the teeter-totter was active. So that's how it works. You're bidding basically every other time, not every time. A couple of tips if you're brand new at this. You came today to bid on something. You did or didn't get it. You're ready to leave. Don't leave your bid card on your chair. You might be buying a whole bunch of vacant lots later on, and then we have to call you and try collecting. The only thing more fun than spending money is spending somebody else's. So when you're done today, take your card, turn it back in where you got it. Don't just leave it laying around. If you have a cell phone with you today, please put it on silent or vibrate. If you need to have a conversation, if you have a child with you, if you want to buy something today, but you brought Granny because she's the one with all the loot and she's deep and you have to shout at her, take it out in the hallway. It's easier for us if we can communicate in here without having 15 other extraneous little conversations going on. If you came today and your husband has the bid card and he has just exceeded the authority you have given him and you need to have a discussion with him, please take it out in the hallway. If you make a mistake, please let us know immediately that you've done so. You bid on the wrong piece of property or you misinterpreted the price we were asking for. If you make a mistake, please stop us immediately. I can still sell the piece when the other bidders are in the room. Please be considerate of everybody else here. No shouting, no screaming, no carrying on. This isn't Oprah. Please be considerate of everybody else here. We'll be considerate of you. And finally, when we say a piece of property is sold, it is. We have people that have this concept that if they wait till the absolute last second to bid for the first time, they'll save money. Sometimes it works because they don't buy anything. But at an auction, the price only goes one way, and that's up. You don't save money by waiting until the last second. Just get the bidding done. It's going to sell for what it's going to sell for, and that's what it's going to sell for. When we say it's sold, it is, please use the card. Get it up in the air over your head when you want to bid. Make it obvious what you're doing. I am not an auctioneer. I do not do the yabba dabba doo. I'm not selling cattle today. I'm selling land. I'm going to be pointing at the high bidder, repeating what the high bid is, telling you what I need to keep on going. If I'm not pointing at you, you're not winning. I'm going to say going once, going twice, sold. If you seriously want to bid on a piece of property, you should have that card in the air when I say going once. If you wait till I say sold, it will be, and it won't be to you. Any other questions before we get going?
I just wanted to ask a small question about if the property is locked. You know what I mean? What
If the property is in the door is locked and it's
Yes.
empty,
Yes.
I use a pipe wrench.
Okay.
You can also use a hammer.
Okay.
Or 99.9% of the time, there's a window open. And if you want to see something really comical, follow me around in the summer and watch me stuff my old butt through some of those windows. Because it's a lot quicker than changing a lock. Anybody else got any questions before we get going? Okay, we have 6 pieces that we're going to sell first because that's what just about everybody in the room's here to bid on. If you're here to bid on one piece of property today and you've been following it, I'm going to read off those 6 numbers right now. Find it in your book. Get that 4-digit number in your brain. I'm going to read them twice. Those are the ones we're going to sell first, and after that, there's probably going to be 3 people left in this room. Those numbers are 5723, 5728, 5734, 5742, 5758, and 5762. I'll read those again in just a second here. If you're here for one of those 6 pieces, you're going to be out of here pretty quick. If you're here for something else, you have less competition, but you have to listen to my jokes for the rest of the afternoon. So there's a price to pay. Again, the numbers are 5723, 5728, 5734, 5742, 5758, and 5762. The first one on that list being 5723. We've had the bidding online open on these for a few weeks now. People have been able to bid in advance. I've got 5 people that have placed online bids before the sale even started on $2,900 is what that sale book says is the minimum bid. The online bidders have already got me at 75, 77. That's already jumping. All I got to do is turn around and it's going to keep going up and up and up. I've got 14 people in this room that came here today to bid on this piece of property. So rather than do it $100 at a time, we have something we call the card game. It makes things go nice and fast. Where am I at? It says $8,900 right now. If you'll give me $10,000 for that piece of property, you just put your card in the air and you just hold it up until I say a number that you won't pay. When I'm above what you're going to pay, you just take the card down and we get there a whole lot faster. 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, $30,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I'm going to start with you at 35,000. Aren't you glad we didn't do that $100 at a time? We'd be here till Thursday. I've got you at 35,000, and that's where we're going to start. Who wants to give me 35,250? And 35,250. 35 and a half. You want to give me 36? How about 36 and a half? 37 and a half. 38 and a half. 39 and a half. 40,000. 40 and a half. I've got you at 40 and a half. Who wants to give me 40,750? That's our next bid increment. Anybody at 40,750 anywhere? What about online? Are they awake? I've got you on at 40 and a half. Going once. Going twice. You bought it 40 and a half, number 459. My backup bidder. What's the backup bidder number? The backup bidder is 521. Here's how the backup bidder works. He just bought that piece of property and he gave us $40,500 for it. He's going out to his car to get his checkbook and suddenly he disappears and we don't hear from him. He just walks away. He was here by himself and we call his house later on today and say, he placed a bid at our sale today and we don't have his check. And his wife says, well, he's up at the emergency room right now because I heard he was at the sale today. And he has 2 broken arms and I don't think he'll be able to write a check for a while because we were going to go on a vacation and I was going to get new furniture and now he has that house. We would call the backup bidder and say, he can't complete the sale. $40,500 was his final bid. Would you give us $40,250? It's yes or no. It's not negotiable. It's not binding on the backup bidder, but if you want to step into the shoes of the winning bidder, it's 1 sale increment below the final sale price. So that's how the backup bidder works. We actually did have one kind of sort of like that happen in reverse this year. Woman bid on a piece of property, great big fat purchase price, and she called afterward and told us that her husband found out and he was not happy. She didn't have any broken arms though. Okay, where are we going next? Number 5728. 5728 is on Stone Street, Port Huron. 1-story home, occupied at the time of our inspection. Several of the ones we're selling today were occupied. We've told you how to manage that situation. 5728, I had 2 bids before it online. 13 bidders here in the room for this one today. Where am I at? I'm already at $7,400 with an online bidder. Who wants to give me $8,000? Let's play that card game again. It's quick and effective. $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000, $14,000, and $15,000. $16,000, $17,000, $18,000, $19,000, and $20,000. $21,000, $22,000, $23,000. I'm going to start with you at $23,000. Who wants to give me 23 and a quarter? Anybody in the room? 23 and a quarter, 23 and a half. How about 24 and a half? 25 and a half. 26 and a half. 27 and a half. I bet you want a 27.5. You still like me in the back row? You want to give me 28? How about 27,750? 27,750 and now 28 and a quarter. I've got 28,000 right there with you. Anybody in the room at 28,250? 28,000 and a quarter. 28 and a half, 28,750. And now 29 and a quarter. I've got 29,000 right there. 29,000 going once. Twice. 29,739. My backup bidder in the back row is 434. As soon as you win something, you can get up and take off. I entered in the computer here. It's automatically out with the clerks. You don't have to wait for the end of the sale. Please make sure to double check those 4-digit numbers in the map. I can always fat finger something up here. I'm fully capable. 5734 on Riverside Drive is the next one. Another occupied property, older bungalow. At least it was occupied when we were by there. That was a while ago. 15 bidders in the room here for this one today. If you thought you were going to walk in and buy it for $13,750, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Let's play the card game again. Where am I at with the online bidders? They're north of 15,000. Who wants to give me $20,000 for that house? If you will, put your card up in the air and just keep it up. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25,000, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,000. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35,000, 36, 37, 38, 39, $40,000, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50,000, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. I bet you starting me at 56,000. All your competition died at the same time. I've got 56 right there. Who wants to give me 56 and a quarter? 56 and a quarter, 56 and a half. You want to give me 57 and a half, 58 and a half, 59, 58, 750. That's as low as I can go. 58, 750, now 59. You're out. I've got you on at 58, 750. Anybody in the room at 59,000? 58, 750. 59, changed his mind, that's okay. 59 and a quarter. I've got you back in at 59. Anybody in the room at 59, 250? 59,000 going once. Twice. It's yours. 59,739. My backup bidder. What's your number? 124. Now that I know that you have at least $58,000, you can't leave until you buy something, right? You know that? That's in the rule book somewhere. Now we're going to go to 5742 on Division Street. $5742 Division Street, updated exterior. I don't know if this one's occupied or not. I don't think that it is. Is it? That was said with some experience to it. I think somebody got barked at. I've got 2 bids online for this one and 14 bidders in the room. So we're going to play that card game again. It works quickly and get things done in an efficient manner. I'm at a little over $7,000 online. Who wants to give me $10,000 for that house? Put your card in the air and keep it there. 10,000, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,000, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,000, 21. I'm going to start with you at 21. Who wants to give me 21 and a quarter? Anybody else in the room? Oh, now I got cards all over the place. You guys weren't playing the card game right. 21 and a half. Now 22 and a half. 22 and a half. 23 and a half. 24 and a half. 25 and a half. 26 and a half. 27 and a half. 28 and a half. 29. Going to give you 30. 31. 32. 33. I've got 32 with the gentleman with the card in the air. Who wants to give me 32 and a quarter? 32 and a quarter, 32 and a half, 32, 750. I've got 32.5 right there going once. 32.5 going twice. You bought it. 32.5, 521. My backup bidder. What's that number? Backup bidder? Backup bidder. They always go into this little zone. Backup bidder number is what? 832. Now, 5758. $57.58, 3 parcels here. You're going to get 3 tax bills. Merry Christmas about that. Occupied, bi-level home. Looks like newer construction. 3 parcels that total about 7.7 acres. Look at that. The online bidders have been busy. I'm already at $21,000, north of $21,000. 5 bidders in advance of the sale, probably a few online as well, and about a dozen people in the room. Let me turn around. Who wants to give me $25,000 for that? Put your card in the air and keep it there. $25,000. Let's try 30. $35,000. $40,000. $45,000. $50,000. $55,000. $60,000. $65,000. $70,000. $72,500. 75, 77.5, $80,000, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90,000, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, $100,000. Everybody in at 105? 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, both cards kind of going down at the same time. 116. Who wants to give me 117? 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 122 and a quarter. I've got 122 back there. Anybody in the room at 122 and a quarter? Anybody anywhere? New bidder, 122 and a quarter. 123. You want to give me 124? 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130,000, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140. Aren't you glad we're not going to $100 at a time? 141. They're not. 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150,000. What about 149 and a quarter? I've got 149 sitting right there. Anybody want to give me 149 and a quarter? What about you guys down front? We'll let you take up the collection. No, we don't take beer cans, I'm sorry. I've got 149. Going once. Going twice. 149, number 868. My backup bidder in the back of the room. What's your number back there? Backup bidder is 390. Those are the kind that clear all the chairs out. Now let's go to 5762, and then we'll go back to the beginning of the book. 5762, I've got a couple of bidders online. 12 bidders here in the room for this one today. 3-bedroom, 1-bath home on Taft Road. Mechanicals are older. Floors will need a little bit of redoing. Looks like you need to spend a weekend with the weed whacker. Good news is, as far as I know, it's unoccupied. You can start at it today. I've already got north of $23,000 online. Let's play that card game one more time. Who wants to give me $25,000 for it? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I'm starting with the lady right there on the aisle at $40,000. Who wants to give me 40 and a quarter? Anybody anywhere? 40,000 right there going once.
Yep.
40 and a quarter online. About time they woke up now. 40 and a half. 40,000. You still in? I've got 40 and a quarter with an online bidder. Anybody in the room want to give me $40,500? 40 and a quarter online. Going once. Twice. And she jumps in at 40 and a quarter, now 40 and a half. It's 40, yep. 40 and a half in the back now, 40,750. Now 41,000. 41 and a quarter.
Yep.
41 and a half. 41,750.
Yep.
42. 42 and a quarter.
Yep.
42 and a half. If you keep bidding, you will win, I guarantee it. I've got 40 and a quarter online. You want to give me 40 and a half? Ooh, 42. 42.5 online now?
Yes.
42.5 online. Is there a second bidder?
No, we were at 42.
No. 42.5. She's all done. I'm at 42 and a quarter online. Going once. Twice. She's back in 42.5, now 42,750.
Yep.
43,000. 43, they're having a family conference back there. 42,750 online. Going once, twice. Sold it online, 42,750. Online, my backup bidder, what's that number? 479. Those are our heavy hitters. We're going to take a 5-minute pause right now. Some people might want to check out. You might have a quick phone call to make, something of that nature. So at 10 minutes after 1, we're going to start again and go back to the beginning of the book. We asked everybody who got here, what are you doing on anything? We have like a dozen reports. Yes, they're in the same book. You have a copy of the book. Everything that's in that book is off the website. People take some of the neighbors' names, they figure they'll make some sign on it. You put people there in the property, you put signs on 10 signs. They don't matter. They're finding that. There are maps online. There are GIS coordinates online. It's all on the website. He must be here chasing somebody he wants. That's how you find out. I can tell you if I got any other, which one's as far as I know, I have one person. The good news is, it's not a good deal. Bad news is, you're going to have to wait. Yeah, no. That's right. Deals, they come and go. Okay. Time to start taking your money again. We are going to start at top of the book. We're going to sell the pieces in order that aren't already sold. We're going to skip the ones that nobody wanted to give us any money for today. We're on number 5700. It's on Liberty Street. Ranch style home, occupied as last we knew. I've got 6 bids online on this one already, and 4 bidders in the room requested it as well. And 5700. My minimum bid for that one is 5100. The online bidders have already got us at 15 and a quarter. Who wants to give me 15.5? Anybody? I've looked at that cards over. We might have to play the card game, but we'll see if we can do without it. 15.5. You want to give me 16? How about 16.5? 17. 17.5. 18,000. 18.5 and 19. 19.5. 20. You want to give me 21? How about 22? 23. 24. 25,000. Her card's down. You want to give me 25 and a half? Now 26 and a half. 26 and a quarter. 26 and a quarter. 26 and a half. 26,750. Now 27 and a quarter. 27 and a half. 27,750. 28,000. 28 and a quarter. 28 and a half. 28,750. And now 29,000. How about 29.5? 30,000. 30 and a half. 31. 30,750. Now 31,000. 31 and a quarter. I've got you on at 31. Anybody in the room at 31 and a quarter? 31,000 over there going once.
Yep.
31 and a quarter online. 31 and a half. 31 and a half. 31,750. I've got you on at 31 and a half. Anybody here at 31,750? We've got it online. Now 32. 32,000. I've got 31,750 online. Going once. Twice. 32. Now I need 32 and a quarter from the online bidder. 32 and a half. 32,750. 32.5 right back there. 32,750. Now 33,000. 33 and a quarter. 33 and a half. 33 and a half. Come on, money bags. I know you got it. Don't talk to him, talk to me. I've got 32 and a quarter online. Going once.
Got it.
32 and a half online. 33 and a half. We have 2 online bidders. They're both live bidders watching on that camera right there right now. We're going to let them ride that teeter-totter back and forth a little bit. If this sells for like $400,000, we will need pizza in a while. Because it gets slow when it's just the online bidders. It's at $34,250 online. Anybody in the room want to give me $32,500? Anybody in the room want back on the teeter-totter? $34,250 online, going once, twice.
Got it.
They're not done. Hurry up, you guys. It's heading for $35,000. This is why we got rid of all those other people already. Just us. You'll watch this in person. $35,500. They're not done. North of 36 now. Usually we'll stand here and watch one of these screens for about 10 minutes and we'll get right down to the last second and somebody in the room will decide to start bidding again. Happens every time. 10 minutes of our life gone. It's like watching commercials. It's at 39,000 and they're still bidding. It's even ramped in the front for those nights when you come home late. No tripping on the way in. $40,000. And they're still bidding. $41,500, and it's still moving. They're slowing down, but not done. $43,000. $44,000. $45,000. $46,000. $46.25 is where it's at. It may have stalled right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 40? Nope, they're not done. I'm looking for $47,000. Anybody in the room want to give us 47? It's at $46,750 online, going once, twice.
Got it.
They're not done yet. $47,250. Anybody in the room at $47,500? Going once, twice. Sold it for $47,250 online. My backup bidder is also online. Number 5701, commercial property on the main drag in Algonac on Tremble Road. Appears to be generally in pretty decent condition. Remember what we told you about contents of buildings. We don't own it. We can't sell it or give it to you. Make some effort to find out who that stuff belongs to, and then you can get it all cleared out. You can open that up, make it into a taco stand or a whippy dip or whatever you please. I need $64,750 for that one. Where's my bidder for it? Somebody wanted it circled. $64,750. Anybody here for that one today?
I got it.
We've got it online. That just woke somebody in the room up. Now I need 65,000. Anybody here at 65? 65,000 right there. Now I need 65 and a quarter from the online bidder. 64,750, 65,000 in the room, going once, twice. You've got your own whippy dip. What's the bidder number? 65,000, number 702. My backup bidder is online. Anybody in the room here to buy number 5702 today? Little narrow strip of land, great for outdoor bowling. Anybody looking for outdoor bowling? No. Then we'll skip it. Anybody here today for the 10 vacant site condominium units in Birchwood? 5703. Is anybody here for 5703 today? Well, let's go by that one. What about 5714? Anybody in the room for 5714 today? 5721, vacant parcel on 11th Street. Anybody here for that one? Flip your page over. We already sold 23. 50, is anybody here for 5724? 5725. 5726 on Garfield. Anybody here for the one in Garfield? 5728, we already sold. I have a circle in my book around 5731. Anybody here for 5731? Must be purchased by an adjacent lot owner. That's our rule today. Anybody here for that? One of the neighbors? Somebody circled it. I guess they changed their mind. I've got a circle around 5732 on Water Street. $4,000 is what we're looking for on that one right there. Where's my bidder at 4,000 on 5732? I've got it right there. He's probably been mowing it the last 5 years. Figures you might as well own it. I've got 4,000 bid in the room, going once, twice. It's yours now. You got a bigger yard. What's the bidder number? Number 770. We already sold 34, so we'll go to 5735 if I have a bidder in the room. Is anybody here for 5735, 38, or 39? The last three on that page. Anybody here for those today? On the next page, we already sold 5742. I only have one other one circled on the whole page. It's 5753. I'm going to read the other numbers. If you're here for one of them that is not circled, put your card up when I read the number. We'll open them up and we'll sell them. Is anybody here for 5740? Let's open that one up. Got a couple of people. This is why we ask you to circle them. Makes things go quicker. 5740 on Court Street, older two-story, $8,100. Where's my bidders for that one? I got 8,100 right there. 82, now 83, 84, now 8,500. You want to get me 9,000? How about 9,500? 10,000, 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half, 12 and a half, 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 15 and a half, 16 and a half, 17 and a half, 18,000 and a half, 19 and now 20. 20 and a half, now 21, 21.5, 21 and a quarter. I've got you on at 21,000. Anybody in the room at 21 and a quarter? 21,000 going once, twice, 21,832. My backup bidder, what's your number? 739. Is anybody here for 5741? 5741. We already sold 5742. A lot of these look like they're vacant lots. 5744. Do I have a bidder here for that one? Well, what about 5745? 5745. We will re-offer these at the end if we something we don't sell and you have extra money, come see us. 5746. 5747 on Howard Street. 5749 on Chestnut, vacant parcel. I've got 5753 circled in my book. Let's open that one up. 5753 North 3rd Street. Vacant parcel. I'm looking for $9,700. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me 98? 97 going once, twice. You can mow that this afternoon. It's yours. Number 447. That's the minimum bid. Anybody in the room for 5754? What about 5757? On the next page, we already sold 5758. I've got some circles around 5761 in my book on Yale. It's a mobile home with the big sky roof and some open windows. It's on 4 acres of land. I'm guessing the well, septic, and property and electrical service are probably what you're really buying here. You can buy this, go out there this afternoon and tell all your friends you went to Yale. $3,400 I've already got online. Who wants to give me 35? 35 over there. Who wants to give me 4,000 for it? 4,000. Who wants to give me 5? 5,000. How about 6? 6. You want to give me 7? 75.
Can I go 72?
71. 72. 73. 74. Now 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 8,000. 81, 82, 8,300, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, $9,000, now 9,100, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, $10,000, new bid increment, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half, 10,750, 11,000. I've got 10,750 right in the front row. Anybody want to give me $11,000 for that one? 11,000, 11 and a quarter, 11 and a half. I've got 11 and a quarter right down front. Take a good look at that. It'd be a great place for your mother-in-law. 11 and a half, no, 11,750. 11,750. I've got 11 and a half with you. Anybody in the room at 11,750? 11 and a half going once. 11,750. Now 12,000. I've got 11,750 down here. Now I need 12. Anybody in the room at 12,000? 11,750 going once. Twice. It's your problem now. 11,750. What's the bidder number? 11,750. 702. My backup bidder over there. What was that number? 1012. We already sold 5762. I have a circle in my book around 5763. Parsons Island, where this one and the next one both are. 5763. It's on Bahaba. I need $7,000 for it. Got it right down front. Anybody want to give me 71? $7,000 right down front going once. Twice. That one belongs to you. What's the bidder number? 265 at the minimum bid. What about 5764? Do I have a bidder here for that one today? Out on the island. Anybody anywhere? Looks like I've got somebody here for 5765. Let's open that one up on Dickinson Island. It's a little marshy. It's a frog farm. I need $500 for it. Where's my bidder for that one? I've got it right there. $500 in the room. Anybody at 550? $500 going once. Twice. $500, $497. I bet you're chasing that other frog farm out there too. 5766. I need $500 for that one. Where's my bidder for that other one? 5766. I need $500 for it. Anybody anywhere? Going once. Twice. No sale on that one. Anybody in the room for 5767? Let's open it up. 5761 Rattle Run Road, 65/100ths of an acre, more Frog Farm property. I need $1,100 for it. $1,100. Anybody want to give me 12? $1,100 going once. Twice.
Yep.
Got it? 12 online. Now 13 and 1,400.
Yep.
Now 15. 1,600. 15, 16, 17. 16 online. Anybody in the room at 1,700? 16 going once. Twice. $1,600 online. My backup bidder, what's the number? 402. On the next page, I've got a circle around the ones at 5769 Carroll Street. It's a home that needs some work and an additional side lot. Where's my bidder at $6,900? Anybody in the room at 69? Somebody wanted it circled. There it is, 6,900. Anybody want to give me 7,000? 6,900 going once. Twice. That's all yours. What's the bidder number? 654 at the minimum bid. Anybody in the room for 5771? Anybody in the room for 5772? It's helicopter parking. She likes the jokes. Serious question about that. 5773 on Cole Road, 2 acres here. Older farmhouse. It needs some help. 5773. I need 13,750 for that one right there. Where's my bidder? 15 at 13,750. Somebody wanted it circled. Are they still here? That is a strange looking roof. Anybody in the room at 13,750? Right there, I got it. Now I need 14. Anybody in the room at 14,000? 13,750 going once. Twice. That one's yours. 516 at the minimum bid. $57.74. Nice open lot. Used to be a house here, but the aliens came and took it away. $25,250. Where's my bidder for that one? It's circled in my book. Anybody here for it? $25,250. Going once. Twice. I guess the aliens got them too. Anybody here for $57.75? I've got a circle in my book and 2 online bids for $57.76. This is a marina condominium boat slip. $170 a month is the fee here, and it starts when? April the 1st. $1,500 is what I've already got bid online. Nice deep slip, $57.76. There it is. You can park your dinghy right there. Who wants to give me $1,600? Anybody in the room for it? If you don't have a boat, you can go buy one this afternoon. I got $1,500 online going once, twice. Sold it online for $1,500. Anybody here for the last 2, $57.77 or $57.78? Neither one of those has legal access. That's why they're here. Anybody here for $57.79? No access to that one either. But if you own something next door, it's probably a deal. 5780 on Allen Road. I have a circle around this one. Last we knew, this one was occupied out Kimball Way. $23,250. Where's the bidder for that one? Anybody here at $23,250? I've got it right there. Now I need $23,500. $23,500. Anybody anywhere? 23. Now I got it all over the room. $23,500. You want to give me 24? 24. Who wants to give me 24 and a half? Get on the teeter totter and start riding. 24 and a half. 25. 25 and a half. 26 and a half. 27 and a half. 28 and a half. 29 and a half. 30,000. 30 and a quarter. I've got 30,000 over there. Anybody in the room at 30,250? 30,000 going once. Twice.
Yep.
Ooh. 30 and a quarter. 30 and a half. 30,750.
Yep.
31 and a quarter.
Yep.
31 and a half. 31,750.
Yep.
32 and a quarter.
Yep.
32 and a half. 32,750.
Yep.
33,000. 33 and a quarter. 33 and a half. 33,750.
Yep.
34,000. 34 and a quarter.
Yep.
34 and a half. 34,750. 34 and a half going once. 34,750. 35,000. 35 and a quarter. 35,000 going once. Twice. 35,832. My backup bidder is online.
Well, I got nothing to do with the backup bidder online, because I'm the backup bidder online, and I kept bidding, and it's frozen right now, so I can't do anything.
You're trying to bid in the room online?
In the room online.
Why would you do that?
I can't.
Obviously, it's not working. Why didn't you just, it's sold now. When we say it's sold, it is sold. If you're sitting in the room, I don't know why you're trying to be bidding through your phone. That just kind of defies logic to me. Okay. $57.81 is on my list, but it's not circled. Anybody here to bid on $57.81? Anybody here to bid on $57.82? I've got a circle in my book around $57.84. We're going to open that one up. Hopefully we've got somebody here for that. It's on Michigan Road, 1.3 acres of vacant land. $57.84. I need $3,300 for it. Right there, I got it. Anybody want to give me $3,400? 33 going once. 33 going twice. That one's yours. 3,300. What's the bidder number? 3,300. 172. $57.85. Probably right next door. Based on that legal description parcel ID number, I think it probably is. You want to give me $3,300 for that one too? 3,300, 33 right there. 34 in the back, now 35. I've got 3,400 back there on that one. Anybody at 35? 34 going once. Twice. 3,400, 1024. Backup bidder is 172. I do not have circles around the last 5 on that page. I'm going to read the numbers off. If you're interested in them, get your card in the air when I read the number and we'll open them up. 5786. 5787. 5789. I'll open it up right now. We're pretty close. Or you can wait till the end. We'll open them back up then. 5789. 5790. 5791. They want 91 opened up. Let's open that up. 5791 is a vacant parcel that the neighbors have kind of overflowed their boundaries and stored some of their stuff on. Is that your camper? Is it? I need $800 for it. Where's my bidder at $800? In the back, I've got it. Anybody want to get the 850? 800 going once, twice. It's yours now, but we're not selling you the camper unless you already own it. Then I'll take some extra money for it. 194 at $800. $57.92, top of the next page. $57.92 on 26th Street. I've got 2 bids online and 5 bidders that wanted this circled in the room. It's a 1-story, occupied last we knew. $5,100 already online. Who in the room wants to give me 52? All over the place. Let's play that card game one more time. $5,500, $6,000, $6,500, $7,000, $7,500, $8,000, $8,500, $9,000, $9,500, $10,000, $10,500, $11,000, $11,500, $12,000, $12,500, $13,000, $13,500, $14,000, $14,500, $15,000, $15,500, $16,000, $16,500, $17,000, $17,500, $18,000. I'm going to start right there with the lady at 18. Who wants to give me $18,250? Anybody in the room at $18,250 going once? 18 and a quarter, 18 and a half, say 18,750. And now 19. You want back in at 19? I've got Fuzzy over there at 18,750. I need 19,000, 18,750 going once. Twice. 18,750. What's the bidder number? 18,750, number 640. My backup bidder, what's the lady's number there? 255. Anybody in the room for $57.93? What about $57.94? $57.95. 94. $57.94 is what we're going to open up. Cleveland Avenue. Beware of the dog. We've got $5,900 for it already online. Who wants to give me 6? I got 6,000 right there. Now 6,100. 6,000 in the room.
Yep.
6,100 online. 62 and now 6,300. 64. Now 6,500.
Yep.
6,600. Now 67.
Yep.
68 and now 6,900. 68 going once. 69, now 7,000 and 7,100. 7,000 going once, twice. 7,263. Backup bidder is online. Anybody in the room for $57.95? $57.98. $57.99. I've got a circle where it looks like we're going back to Yale. I've got a circle in my book around 5,800. 5,800 North Street in Yale was a doctor's office. It's got exam rooms, reception areas, an elevator ramp, and even some tongue depressors thrown in for extra measure. I'm gonna start carrying her along with she. She likes all my tricks. I need $109,250 and I've already got it online. Who wants to give me 109.5? 109.5. 109,750. We didn't even have to play the card game. 110. 110 and a quarter. You want to give me 111? 111 and a quarter. How about 112 and a quarter? 113 and a quarter. 114 and a quarter. They can only go up 250 at a time online. 115 and a quarter. 116 and a quarter. 115 and a quarter. Or 116 in the room. Got it online? I'm at 116 with you. Anybody at 116, 250? 116 going once. 116 and a quarter, about 117 and a quarter. 117 in the room. Going once. 117 and a quarter. How about 118? 118. Now I need 118, 250. He's been faster now. His wife went away. Now 119. She was probably, what are you doing over there? Nothing. 119 and a quarter. 120 and a quarter. 121 and a quarter. 121. Going once. Going twice. You bought it. 121. What's the bidder number? 121, 321. Backup bidder is online. Number 5860. Do I have anybody in the room for that one? 5860. I've got a couple at the end here that the tax amount, the summer tax amount, for some reason didn't get printed. If we sell them, we'll let you know what that is. 5861, I have an online bid for. I want to tell you that the summer tax amount is $284.38. That being said, I've already got a $100 bid for it online. 5861. Anybody want to give me 100 and a half for it? 150 online, going once, twice. Sold that one online for $100. $58.62. I've got an online bid for it. The summer tax on that one is $496. I've got a $100 bid for it online. Anybody in the room for $58.62? $100 going once, twice. 100 and a half now bid online. I think this will probably end up at $350, just a guess. $200. Anybody want to give me $250? $200 going once, twice. Sold it online, $200. Backup bidder is also online. Anybody in the room to bid on 5863? Okay, here's what we're going to do. My watch says that it is about 1:45. Let's just say at 5 minutes to 2, we're going to open up anything that's in that book that we did not sell at the minimum bid. We're going to talk to our bidders online. They were not able to open things that didn't already have bids on them. So we're going to ask them if they want anything opened up. If there's anything in the book that we didn't sell that you want us to open up, let us know in the next 7 or 8 minutes. We'll open those up at 5 minutes to 2 and take your money. Thanks for coming.
proposing is they have the sewers failing?
Getting any?
Just two.
That guy in the beginning was just, wanted to make sure everybody was getting everything right.
Yeah, I thought he was up